Welcome everyone to our call today. We're super excited for you. This is day 5 of our 10-day challenge. That's right, we're 50% there. And what I'm so excited about today is that we're going to be talking about something that is absolutely going to make the light bulb go off. Now, of course, what we've been talking about up until this time, they all intertwine, right? The day 1, we talked about creating alliances in a very creative way. Day 2, we talked about issuing private currency so that you can create funds with no debt. Day 3, we talked about referral marketing. Remember, reverse engineering it, not asking for the referrals, but giving the referrals to create future value. Yes. Day 4, we talked yesterday and we rolled up our sleeves and got into some numbers and accounting about hard dollars versus soft dollars, and how we can start our business and use soft dollars to our advantage. So today we are going to be talking about creating a purpose-driven, let me just read it exactly how we said it, a cause-driven marketing program. And we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, which is crowdfunding. It's so interesting because one of Tony's mentors is Jay Abraham. And Jay Abraham, in his book called How to Get the Money for Your Great Idea, your startup, or expansion of your business, is one of the principles he talks about in here is crowdfunding. And so I'm super excited that we're going to explore that option for you today, because remember, our goal is to help you to raise the $10,000 to get you to business mastery. And quite honestly, the crowdfunding is why Teresa and I connected on a deeper level. Now, she has been a client of mine for some time, but she started telling me about her projects that she's doing with crowdfunding, and my ears perked up. So I'd love for Teresa to share with you what she's been up to in the crowdfunding arena. Teresa?
Great. Now, before I get started, I have a question for Maria and Hortensia. Because Spanish is your main language and English is your second language, we did some very structured business books and records discussion yesterday. And I wanted to just, you can either say, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, because based on what we talked about yesterday is the next step of the discussion of passion-driven and crowdfunding. Why? So when we talked about hard dollars, soft dollars, and understanding when to use them and how to use them for your business advantage, to grow your business, to go into a referral, or to add value to a cause, we'll just use that. Was that difficult to understand, or did you follow it pretty easily? Good, excellent. Okay, so with that, when we talked about heart, so I'm not going to stand up at the board, although you might want to see my beautiful flower dress and my white coat. I'm going to tell you my little story about a white coat. When we owned our printing company, you know, I did the sales and I directed the press operators, and I put a full white, like a doctor's jacket on. And that was the stupidest thing I could do, because it was a printing company and we had ink everywhere. And so I had white jackets with ink stains, and they all look at me like, okay, lady, get rid of the white jacket. And I do want to say that the best way for me to be able to manage those press operators is when I learned to print and I could outprint them. And so that's my little story on hard dollars, soft dollars, because in our printing company, everything was based on how many repetitions the printing press made, how long it took, and the hourly rate of what our press operators, what we paid them. And so that was my background in production. Now, why did I bring that up? Because we got to a point that our press operators were operating old equipment. And we thought the way to get to make more money is if we bought new equipment. And the presses that we bought I don't know, one was $38,000. And and we kept having to buy more equipment, which made it even more difficult to be profitable. And there was a point in our business activities when I went, we aren't making any money if we're having to borrow, right? If we can't, we're not buying another piece of equipment if we can't make what our equipment does produce. And that was a mind shift for us. And so when I bring the idea of imagine starting your business with a crowdfunding campaign so that you come into business already with backers. Now we're going to have a little conversation. I got to watch my time because we only get 15 minutes, but we're going to have a conversation on the general idea of crowdfunding, but more important, your reason why a backer or anyone would want to fund you. And so I actually started 2 years, Robert, and I, well, okay, I said, Robert, we're writing a book. We're writing 2 books. And Robert helped me build my first Kickstarter campaign. And I worked. And so when we talk about crowdfunding, there are lots of crowdfunding programs out there. And we chose Kickstarter. And then I chose, there's about 2 other ones that I tested. I got to work with the owner of Kickstarter and asked him, basically grill him on why it worked, what the logic is. I'm going to share that with you. And even today, when we were driving back and into the, I'll just say the driveway, before the last turn, there was a guy sitting out with his Venmo. Venmo is, I don't know. Okay, Maria knows what Venmo is because she works for Logitech. Okay, got it. But Venmo and a picture of his mother who just passed away, and he was wanting to raise money to bury his mother. Now, why did I share that story? Because crowdfunding is based on the crowd's mentality of the cause. And so that crowd mentality could be business owners that are going to buy into a piece of real estate together. There are many crowdfunding arrangements now where you can buy a property. In fact, my book, okay, I say our book, and Robert does the administrative, right? So I get to write this stuff. Our book is Fund My Castle. And it was based on the story, and it's a true story of 2 guys that came together in France to save a dilapidated castle. And they got 50 euros from, I don't know, 1,800 people around the world to fund the renovation of the castle. And they all got a little percentage of not ownership, but being a member who helped remodel it. And they had the right to come to the castle and visit it or show it to their family or whatever. And so why do I say that? So crowdfunding is really cause-based. It could be on anything. I want to buy a new press. I'm building a crowdfunding story. And so what I'm going to share today is, as we look at using crowdfunding, it's all about your story. And I have a little story. So when we fly to Hawaii, it's a 5.5-hour flight. And so I wrote the first story to save Byron from drowning in debt. Now, Byron, my daughter, she's a single mom. She has 2 young children, and Byron is her car that was financed. And 4 years later, she still owes $10,000. So we took some pictures of Byron, turned it into a person. She names all of her cars, and took pictures of the kids getting in the car, and I wrote a story. Save Byron from drowning in debt. Now, it was a 3-prong approach for me because my cause is to teach debt-free business, debt-free ownership, and debt-free society. That's my cause. And to help Fund My Castle was designed to help someone own their home debt-free, because it is our debt-ridden process that I think is going to make our country crash and everything else. So debt-free ownership, crowdfunding, each one of you are going to have a cause. And the story that you're going to write is why they're going to fund. Now, the owner of Kickstarter, when he was helping us, he said, first of all, the people who are going to fund you are your clients. So put people that, and so we started, I wanted to put it $25,000 crowdfunding. He said, no, you're better off to start small and build way more. And they have it's kind of like YouTube, because I started studying YouTube going viral for business 2 years ago, but it's kind of like YouTube is you get this herd mentality, but there is a gimmick. And the gimmick was, if you start little and you build this rush, then everybody wants to jump in. And that is the mentality right now. What brought Marshanda and I together is a new crowdfunding platform that I got really excited about, that she's like passionate about. And we just started going, okay, what can we do with it? And I said, well, let's build this proposal to help someone crowdfund $10,000 to go to Business Mastery. And then let's teach them what to do in Business Mastery and how to use crowdfunding to build their passion-driven business. And that's a cause, but it means you got to tell your story. And so in our 4th day or 3rd day, we started to build Hortensia's story. And that's what this program is to teach each of you to really learn about your passion, what really drives you, to learn to tell your story in 2 minutes. Why 2 minutes? Because there's a whole algorithm that's developed to get someone to build that crowd mentality, and then to put it into a platform that I think is the best I've ever seen. And that's what today's class is. Now, I studied crowdfunding for the last, now I think you guys know that I read really fast, and I've studied, in fact, Marshanda and I were talking and she started to say this is, I said, no, don't say that, because, and she got really mad at me because she's so passionate about crowdfunding. I said, no, because there are so many laws around crowdfunding. If you're raising money for equity, there's laws. If you're raising money for real estate, there's laws. And that all changed when a new law passed in 2018. You're going to read about it in Jay Abraham's chapter 3. And so I told her, well, just flip through the book. And never mind, look, I already have it highlighted. Just flip through the book. And so we're going to try this intuition with photo reading. And I'm going to have you go to chapter 13. We're going to make it easy. Chapter 3. We're going to make it easy for you. Close your eyes, ask a question, and open the page. And let's see what message Jay Abraham has for us today with crowdfunding. What jumped out?
Well, I see this. One of the most dynamic new methods of raising capital for startup businesses is crowdfunding. And
he says, I'll turn this chapter over to Peter Einstein, founder of crowdfunding
for all.
Yeah. So go check out Jay Abraham's book. You can find it online, download it, and flip through it, because there's some amazing business strategies, and crowdfunding is one of them. Okay, now Robert has decided to take command, and he keeps giving me the signal. Okay, 2 more minutes. Now he's giving me 0. Okay, so we're up on our 15 minutes. Now we're going to open the mic after Marshanda does our close for the editing for this day 5 crowdfunding.
So guys, again, of course, you heard some incredible things talking about Teresa's passion in her book on using crowdfunding to raise money for people to be in their homes debt-free, about owning her daughter with the car debt-free, they're in your business, starting your business debt-free. That's what we're talking about, guys. So we're super, super excited about it. And we're gonna allow you guys during the question and answer section to ask a few questions. But thank you again for showing up today, and we're super excited to have you.